Hello! This is the 6th instalment of my happenings at the Roundhouse, and I have been shopping this week, and hence my incredibly cool rockstar shades, which I won't wear anymore. So I have to do lots of things as usual this week, in no particular order of importance. We will start with finished cabinets. We've had finished cabinets on the walls, which Paul spent time after time getting perfect alignment to the wall, and it just looks really beautiful now. They've gone off to the sprayer. He's going to spray them a slightly darker shade than the wall, which is Oyster Cove 3 for anybody who wants to paint their room the same colour. And the cabinet's going to be Oyster Cove 2. We have cut chases into the walls. So now we've got electricity coming in and lighting wiring coming in from the ceiling, but it's just going to be hidden as part of the wall. So now pretty much all of the messy work has now been done, apart from the ceiling, which is now again going to be plaster, because I was talking about first of all it being plaster and then decided not to do plaster because it's going to take too long and it's going to be too messy. And then we decided to do the wood panelling, and then that was looking good, and we had like lighting possibilities for it. And now that's going to take even longer than the Baswaphone plaster. So we are going to go back to the plaster, and it's only going to take a week because there's a new type of plaster. It's all very exciting, called Baswaphone, which only takes a week to lay, and it's not nearly as low as the wood panelling. So we're going to go for that, and we're going to do that hopefully next week, if we're lucky. So we're going to go for that. We got rid of all the lights in here and plastered them over because they're not going to be needed anymore. Now we're going to have the second kind of lower ceiling going almost to the edge of the room. What else? I bought lots of clothes. I've written it here, but I was already too excited to tell you, so I told you right from the beginning. But I did buy lots of nice clothes. I bought a nice jumper. I bought all of these. And I wore them, I didn't feel like I had anything to wear for the nitin sawhney gig, which is what I spent all of this week, well, all of the last week doing, was rehearsing with the amazing musicians that he's brought over from India, and also a collection of independent freelance, musicians from all over London. And they all got together and made an amazing show that was at the Royal Albert Hall as part of the proms. It was Nitin's own prom, and I want one of those in time when I'm ready, but that's one of my dreams. But, you know, he's a little bit older than me, so he's allowed to get there before me. So that was great, and I only had one song to do, one song in the beginning, and it's called Bring It Home, which is a working title. It may end up being called that, but it's just a working progress title at the moment. And I didn't think I did such a good job. I didn't think I did as good as I could have done. I did really well in the rehearsals, and I guess maybe I was just too confident because it was just always gone so well. And then when it finally got to the gig, I didn't feel like I did as good a job as I could have done. But The Guardian said that it was one of the 2 best songs. I'm not going to gloat. So that was great, and I really enjoyed watching the rest of the gig because I had the whole gig to watch after that. And I sat behind some very proud parents of Reena, who's an amazing Indian singer, his parents, and also Justin, who was the beatboxer guy, his parents, and they kept turning around going, "It's my son, that's my daughter." So it was very exciting. I loved being in the orchestra rehearsing and kind of having this idea, and I was saying that I wanted the idea of this turn, like the lower strings, the cellos would be like da 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 da, so like a quarter note or quarter triplet note, and then the second cellos would do a slightly da 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 da, and then the violins would go, or the violas would go la 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 la, and then the top violins would be like la, 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 la. And it kind of slowly went through the orchestra as they were trying to figure it out, and I could just, it was so amazing to hear. It was the first time I've thought of something in my head and then seen it really done by an orchestra, like as I was kind of thinking it up. It was so exciting, and I definitely got a taste of, hopefully, the future of what might hold. The fridge is back where it belongs, or back where it was never, but has always wanted to be, and now it's there, and it's great, and it just manages to kind of go by the radiator as if by magic. I'm very proud of myself for getting that correct. The freezer arrived. The painting of the kitchen has been completely finished now. We were thinking that we'd go for a slightly lighter colour in one side of the kitchen, but we just couldn't find the right colour, so we just went for the same colour as the other part of the kitchen. Bought some radiators for the studio down here, slightly thinner radiators than the one we had before, because the ones we had before would have got in the way of the wainscoting cyber trunking lead thing that's going around the perimeter of the room. I chose colour for the finish of the kind of mic panel slots that are going to go in here and upstairs and all over. I chose red for the upstairs room and white for in there, and the same colour as the walls in here, all with silver writing. I went to a party, and it was very good fun, which is in Devon. It was a beautiful day, and I spent most of the day, well, travelling by train down there. It took 3 hours, just gazing out of the window and just wondering why I don't get out into the countryside more often. Because even though I'm in the countryside here, it's not exactly Devon. Devon just stretches out for miles and miles, and they've got coastline, and it's really beautiful. And even just, you know, one night away in the country, I feel like I've had a little holiday. So that was really good. Oh yes, we had a bit of an episode with the nature not long ago. Paul and I arrived because we were both coming from London, and Paul's carpenter, and we were opening the shutters to let the light in the morning, and we opened the shutters of the kitchen, and in the bushes was a foreign object, and it turned out to be a behind of some animal, and we weren't quite sure what it was at first. We thought maybe it was a horse because it was very tall behind, and then we realised actually it's probably a deer, or a deer of some sort. So it was just standing there, and it wasn't doing anything. It wasn't even brushing its tail or anything. It was just kind of very stationary, and I was a bit curious, so I went out at the front door to go and have a little check out, and Paul shouted through the house going, "Yimmy, Yimmy," because he'd just seen this huge stag like reverse its butt out of the bushes, and these huge antlers followed, and he was a bit nervous that it might have kind of rammed me or stagged me, and taken me up in its antlers and rushed me off into the bushes. But it didn't do that, because it was far more interested with what was in the bush further in, which I couldn't see, which was a doe. And there was a nice female deer in there that was obviously being seen to in some manner, because they went off a little embarrassed, perhaps. If deer could get embarrassed, I think they were that. And so the stag and its bird went off across the fields and frolicked, and it's beautiful. I didn't realise that we had those things in the garden, and there have been a couple of sightings since, so they must be regulars. There must be something nice about the garden that they like particularly and makes them horny or something. The scaffolding has been put up as well. Scaffolding's been put up in the hallway so that we can paint it yellow. So I've chosen the colour, I can't remember what it's called, but it's yellow anyway. And the ceiling is going to be painted in a trompe d'oeil fashion, with clouds on the ceiling and ruined Greek stonework that are kind of going to go into the lanterny area at the top, and it's going to somehow become part of the wall, and birds and things. So that's all going to be done this week, and I can't wait, because that's like my big stamp on the house, is this big painting on the ceiling when you walk in the hallway. So I can't wait for that to be done, because it's really cool, and maybe that'll be something that will stay for years and years and years. You never know. Okay, I am done. I will see you all in a week, and thank you for watching. Adios. Have a bit more grass.